is an equivalent of a large garbage truck every minute of every day backing up to the ocean and just dumping plastic into it. We really have to look at ourselves and say, do we deserve this beautiful ocean that was given to us?
This one is Korean. You know, it just speaks to the problem. This is a global issue, and the Hawaiian archipelago is the most isolated island chain in the world, and yet we're finding objects that have washed in from far corners of the world. We're all more connected than we realize. There are things that we use and we discard, and we don't ever think about them again, but we should. Because these things will be here long after we leave.
I used plastic bags at the market. You know, I used disposable coffee cups. It didn't cross my consciousness.
I hear there's a huge pool in near the Pacific where just garbage is just swirling in circles.
Apparently there's some like humongous area of the Pacific Ocean that's covered in floating trash.
They've got that giant like garbage island in the Pacific Ocean. It's like miles and miles of trash. Garbage island? What are you talking about?
This is what our ocean is like now. This is what it's full of. If you have a beach in the middle of the ocean, this is what will wash up on it. In 1999, we found 6 times as much plastic as plankton by weight. In 2009, we found an average of about 36 to 1, and I'm thinking it's going to be in the hundreds to 1 now.
When larger plastic items, toothbrushes, bottles, bags, break down over decades, they float in the water and get eaten by sea life.
They're all over this beach. People are in fact calling this sort of thing the new sand.
This is a HDP milk carton that has been gnawed on by a bunch of fish. We find all kinds of bottles like this. There's evidence of fish eating plastic all over the beach. Here's another one.
It's been proven that these pollutants, PCBs, DDT, other hydrophobic pollutants, stick to plastic. It's also been shown that pollutants will desorb from the plastic into the tissues of animals.
A leading US government scientist told CNN plastic is definitely in our food chain and drinking water. This isn't something maybe happening to our children. It's already here.
Today, the norm is that any one of us could look at the chemicals in our body and find that, yes, we have like heavy industrial chemicals stored in our blood.
Yeah, the stomach is very, very full, and if we look here, there's some very dark pieces, some very light white pieces, and if you see, you know, as I push on this, it's absolutely rigid.
Oh, look at that. Look at the size of that. Jen, I counted 234 pieces of plastic out of that one bird. Is that a record?
Not even close, unfortunately. So for the species, the record is 276 pieces of plastic inside of one 90-day-old chick. And that plastic, when we weighed it out, accounted for 15% of that bird's body mass. So that's a pretty scary statistic. If we translate that into human terms, it gets even worse. That would be equivalent to you and I having somewhere around 6 or 8 kilos of plastic inside of your stomach. It's equivalent to about 12 pizzas worth of food inside of your stomach.
Okay. I'm so sorry, baby.
You can leave it for a while, maybe the disappear.
No, it's simple. Oh, man.
Plastic is going to be the future fossil. Let's say a million years from now, you're going to get this layer of plastic that blankets the planet. If there are paleontologists about, they will dig down, and when they find that plastic layer anywhere in the world, they can say, this is the age of humankind.
Bionic yarn is a yarn spinning process that takes recycled plastic bottles and turns them into a high-quality yarn and fabric. We take a plastic bottle, we shred it into flakes, melt them, extrude them into fibers, spin them into a yarn, and then helix them with another fiber, like cotton, to create a surface over the recycled plastic. And we decided we should really try to address this issue of plastics in the oceans.
Everything has a purpose, even trash, and we should be accountable for everything. The basic idea is to synchronize the economy and the environment by pulling out the plastics from the ocean, keeping it on land, and making it into products that we could use. And G-Star's kind of been on the radar for bionic yarn for a long time.
G-Star decided they wanted to get involved, and that becomes something interesting. That's when you get 1 and 1 makes 3. I need to give back to the place that's responsible for giving me this life. Bionic yarn was a way to tie. There was a way to give back to the universe.
In a recycling center outside of Taipei, there is a group of dedicated volunteers who have a passion and heart for recycling. These are just some of the hundreds of thousands of people across the globe upholding the values of the Zhuoqi organization.
对啊，好像在运动啊。回收对大家都很好啊。
我是陈金珠，在三重园区环保站呢，已经有12年了。那，我们的最主要的那个回收的是从社区，还有夜市，还有店家，还有每一个住户，还有师兄师姐他们的点回收回来的。那我们有回收的量呢，回收的东西有包括塑胶袋、保特瓶，还有瓶瓶罐罐，还有家电。
January 2006, Tzuji International People's Aid Group started researching the possibility of transforming recycled plastic bottles into the blankets given out to the needy during relief missions. It found out that the polyester composition of a plastic bottle is not dissimilar to that of normal fabrics used to make clothing. Therefore, if we can use recycled plastic bottles to be made into blankets and deliver these blankets to the needy, not only can lives be saved, but the useful lifespan of plastic bottles can be prolonged as well. This is like turning trash into gold, turning gold into love. Under the calling of Master Cheng Yen, all Tzuji members sprung into action. Volunteers in every recycling station first single out the clear transparent plastic bottles from other recycled goods. These are then transported to the main recycling station in Zhongli, where the bottles are fully compressed. They are then cleaned and broken up into little pieces, heated up and melted down. Through a series of special processes, fibers the size of 1/5 of a human hair are extracted. These fibers are then made into the greage used to make blankets. After further processing, a blanket is born. The first batch of recycled fibers used up to 770,000 pieces of clear plastic bottles. The blankets made from these were distributed in Tzuji's 2006 International Winter Relief. They were also distributed in April 2007 to one of the Philippines' deprived areas when it was hit by fire.
There is lots of pain and suffering that is happening to the marine animals. It's happening to people. In the ocean, there's micro pieces of plastics that, like, for example, tuna can eat it and it can get into our immune system and it can get into our nerves and cells, which is really bad for us. The solutions are to not use single-use plastics in the first place. Have alternatives, like instead of using a single-use coffee cup, have a reusable coffee cup. If you look at a single-use plastic bag or bottle or some plastic wrapping, look at it and say to yourself, do I really need this?